In this video, we'll discuss how to solve the exercise dictionary order. And sure, this is a second exercise in the guided activity. The first exercise has a video explanation. So if we go to the first exercise in this guided activity, you will find a video explanation of a very similar exercise. So before you attempt to do the second exercise, please be sure that you tried and understood very well how to do the first exercise. If you have questions, if you don't understand something, contact me before you go to the second exercise. So you after you do the first exercise, you must have something similar with this, in which I will just briefly remind you what the first exercise is about. You read the first and last name for two students using input. Let me make this one smaller for now and make this one bigger. So you use J of Champagne with input dialog. It's the way in which we'll enter data in this exercise. And then we compute some conditions like checking if they have the same last name, if they have the same first name. Um, then we check if they have the same name, and this is an and between the last name and first name. They need to have both first name and last name equal in order to be same name. And then we check which one of them will appear first in gradebook. And now, if they have the same name, none of them, any of them may be first, so none of them must be first because they will have the same name. Now, if the name is different, then one of them will be first depending of the condition. So basically, first is first if both the last name and so if the last name is less than um, the last name of the other person, or they have the same last name and the first name is less than the first name of the other person. And when I say less, means less in lexicographical order, in the dictionary order, as they will appear in the grade book. Now, after we compute all of these conditions, sure, second is first, we can do the same like first is first, copy paste, but we can also use the results that we already have. So second must be first if they are not the same and if the first is not the first. So you don't have any other choice. So in a way, second is first. Here I took out the other two situations, so remains only the third situation. Then we compute a message as a string that we like to print. And this is customized, containing the name of the students. It's like a pattern that we complete. And after that, we show a message dialog in which we print this message. So now instead of having the data in the console, in this program, when we run it, we'll have the data keyboard. Let's say I have Joe, Doe, first name, just Joe, last name Doe, first name John, last name Doe, and now we have this printed message at the end. Now, um, the name of the first student, the name of the second student, they have the same last name, they don't have the same first name, and the students uh, don't have the same name, and Joe will appear first in dictionary in the grade book based on dictionary order. So that's all that this program is doing. Warnings related to fonts on you may ignore it. If you get it, you may ignore it. It's not important. Now, these are the previous programs. So After you understood this program, now we need to go and do the next program. And let's see how we do this second program. So as you can see here, the second program will ask us receives dialog free words, lowercase only. This means that we'll type the words to be lowercase. We assume they will be a lowercase. And then we want to compute if they are already in dictionary order, and we print a complete sentence if they are in dictionary order or not. So it's in a way much simpler than the previous program. So again, you decide in which package you want to create. Here I have a package for this program already prepared. And in this package, I will create a class, and I will put words, or let's see how this assignment is named to use the same name, dictionary order. So I will name it dictionary order, and I want a main function, always want that. And sure, this is a description. Now don't forget to add here some comments, and your name as the author of this program. And the main method, its arguments will not be used, and pretty much is doing the same like the program is doing now, because right now we put everything in our main method. So we arrived at this point, and now we need to start creating the program. Up to now, we just prepare. Basically, now we start to do our assignment. And first thing that we need to do is to think in English what we need to, how we want to solve this problem. And sure, we did the same here. We thought at the uh, structure of the program here as well. So let's try to follow this structure again. And I will put a fancy sign here just to show that, I want these to represent like big blocks of code. And we already have in the specification these main steps identified. So first I want to receive through a dialog free words, and I want this to be lower cases. Sure, we can convert them to be lower cases, but we just assume here that they will be lower cases. Then we want to compute if they are in dictionary order. And then it's something that is not here, but we did previously, and we want to compute, uh, and I'll make it more imperative because here it's effectively what to compute the message to print. And the last thing that we want to do is to print this message. So basically, these are the four main steps that our program will do. And this is trivial, you will say, yes, it is trivial, but this clarify for us everything that we have to do. So we receive the words through a dialog, we compute if they are or not in dictionary order, we compute the message to print, and we print the message. It's a linear structure, easy to understand. Now, once we have this structure, we just need to add code to solve it. And we can always inspire ourselves from how we did for the other program. Nothing wrong with that. So basically, to read something, what we did, we use this show input dialog to be able to read. And what we need to read here are three words. Word one, show input dialog. And for this one, you enter a message that you want to be shown when you read. So enter word lowercase only. So we specify, okay, I want for you to enter a word, but use lowercases only. And we want to read three words, so we need to do again and again for second and third words. So basically we'll have word 1, word 2, and word 3. And, uh, and then we can customize here, enter the first word, enter the second word, if we want to make it much more clear, and the third word. So that's all that we have in this part of the program. And to be sure that it's working, we can just run it. We'll not do anything, just run it to be sure that our code has no error up to now. Let's say um, monkey, second word pig, and third word dog. And it works with data. Now, if we want to be sure that what we read was correct, before we check the dictionary order, we may just want to start printing something to see that whatever we did makes sense. And we can do the same like here. We want to show both uh, students and what how they are in the grade book. Same we can do here. We will show both the words and tell if they are in order or not. And again, if you look here, you have a message that you construct, and then you add to this message new information, and always you finish with this um, \n to go to the next line when you finish to say something. So let's for now just start our message. And sure, it will not be a complete message for now. It just shows the initial information. The first word is, uh, and then we'll add here word 1, and then we can put a dot and \n to look very fancy. And what we want after we have is we want to add to our message, and we can use this special operator plus equal for that, like we use here. That means that we have message equal message plus this, so we add to the message a new part, to the string a new part. The second word is word 2, and we'll repeat this once more to show also the third word is word 3. So now we have the same uh, structure of the program, but we also have the matches. Sure, still we cannot see anything because it's not printed. So let's see how we did the print. As you can see, that's not very difficult. Once we have the message, we just call the same show message dialog that will print our message in a nice dialog. So now we have an input and output. Sure, we haven't solved the problem yet, but we solved the input and output. Let's test to be sure that it's working. And we'll have again three words: book, pen, and pencil. And we have the three words: book, pen, and pencil. Now, these three words in particular, they are in dictionary order. So this will need to return true. It is true that the words are in dictionary order. The previous ones were not, so in that case we'll have it is false that the words are in dictionary order. And this is the last part of the message. Now, to do that part, we'll need first to compute if they are or not in dictionary order. Again, we can assume that they are lowercase, we can assume that they are different. If they are not different, we can have the same word. It's not necessarily wrong that they can be in any order, so we'll see that they can be also equal. And let's create a boolean in which we'll store if they are or not in dictionary order. And I'll name this boolean dictionary order. And they are in dictionary order basically if the first word is before the second word, before or the same with the second word, and the second word is the same word before the third word. So That's what we'll need to compare. So if we compare word 1 compare to word 2, then we need to have this one to be less or equal with 0, which means that word 1 is before or the same with word 2. And also, we'll need to have uh, second part of the condition that the same relationship exists between word 2 and word 3. So this will tell me if the words are in uh, dictionary order or not. So we computed this variable. Now what we need is to use it in the message. We need to add to the message this result. So we want to say it is, and here true or false, depending how dictionary order, uh, uh, what value it has, that the words are in dictionary order. Uh, and that's all. We don't need to do anything else for now. We did everything that we needed to do. Now, the next, so basically we did our problem. The next thing that we need to do is to test it. And when you test a program, you need to be sure that you test all the possible combinations so your program will work correct. Here we have at least two main combinations. One in which the words are in dictionary order, one in which they are not. Now we can have even more combinations if we take some words to be equal between them. Or if we look when they are not in dictionary order, if we consider various possible orders in which you have the first one to be the last one, or in dictionary, or things like that. So basically, there are many tests that we can do, and always is good to make a lot of tests. And in some automatic coding that I provided you, you saw that each program was tested with a lot of input values. Now, when I am asking you to test and put some examples, you need to put at least a minimum one. If you put more, even better. You may even get some bonus points if I like that you did a more comprehensive test. Now, but if you put the minimal ones, you will get the points. If you put only one test, generally is not enough. It was enough when we had very simple programs. There, one test was enough because just printed something on the screen, that's okay. But as we go and we have various possible inputs and each input will determine a different output, you will need to have at least one test for each possible output. So you will test that your program will provide that output. So let's do some tests. So we'll do two tests, but again, you are welcome to do more. So let's take the order, and we can take three of that we took before, like book, uh, pen, and pencil. And now we got it is true that the words are in dictionary order. Now let's change the order. We'll keep the same words, but let's change the order. Let's say we start with pen, then we have pencil, and then we put book. And now it is false that the words are in dictionary order because book is not. Pen and pencil are, but book is not. So these are like two cases. If you take screenshots, when you take a screenshot, you don't need to take the entire screen. You can take only the message. But don't forget, before you take screenshots, don't forget that you have a special requirement. The need to add your name as the author. We did that. So we edit our name as the author. My name in this particular case, you need to add your name. And then you need to start your program with a printed line that contains the name of the program and the author. Here I gave you an example, hello class. Don't put hello class. You need to put the name of this program and your name. So again, I will use a message here. So just to have a nice uh, output, you can write in console, not necessary to use the same, doesn't matter where, but I want to see it. So when you send me a screenshot with the execution, that message needs to be visible. So our program is dictionary order by. So this is my message, your message. Sure, you change my name is your name, but don't forget to put this. And now you can take the screenshot. So you test it, everything is running. Now you can run and take the screenshot. So when you take the screenshots again, because screen, I don't need to to oh, and I forgot. You see, don't take the screenshots. You need to put a backslash n. So here we will also need to put a. This is correct now. Now we can take the screenshot. So book, pen, and pencil. Now it is true that the words are in dictionary order. We have this message at the beginning. So if you take a screenshot only with this information, it will be good. You don't need to take the entire screen because here I have everything that I want to see. But you need to take several. You need to take this one. You need to take at least one more when they are not in dictionary order. And sure, you can take much more of them if you want to show other situations. So this concludes our exercise. When you submit, don't forget to include the source code. You need to put executions of your program, and the source code needs to be a .java. This can be pictures, or you can put one PDF containing all the executions. And do not zip the files, because if you zip them, you can use various archive programs, and they may use different formats, and it will be harder to process them. So use PDF, JPEG, that's what is acceptable, and the source code needs to be .java. Okay, good luck with this assignment.